Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard. And boy, talk about early Elton John, huh? His first phase, absolutely. And no, I'm not talking about Reg Dwight in the 1960s. I mean the first phase of Elton's long career as Elton. And boy, he was right on the launching pad, just about to take off at this point in time, so it's really fun to grab this last moment of his first phase. So at this point in March of 1972, he had charted, believe it or not, only one single back in his native England, and that would be Your Song the year before. And that's why the song is plugged at the top of the poster under his first name. But this whole thing just so reeks of early Elton, first phase Elton to me, doesn't it to you too? It just looks very old school Elton, and sort of reminds me of the Troubadour in Los Angeles, his breakthrough there in Los Angeles I said LA twice, in 1970. It just has sort of the same kind of feel to it and graphic elements to it. So, and indeed he broke out in America first. And matter of fact, over in the US, at the point of this concert, with just the one charter in England, he had actually charted 5 singles in America, and the current one right now was the beloved Tiny Dancer. But of those 5 singles, let's be fair and point out that only one of them had been a hit single, and that was still Your Song. So he was pretty much still on the launching pad for the entire world. So you've got this really nice, just lovely autumn colors on this poster. Unusual colors for a poster, but I think it really works. I think it looks really sweet. It's awful nice. And you've got those 4, wild action shots of Elton superimposed over his hair on the big profile artistic rendering of his face. It's a rather interesting design, very different. And then underneath Elton's chin, you've got the name check there for his famous band, the trio of drummer Nigel Olsson, bassist Dee Murray, and guitarist Davy Johnstone. Then of course you have the white tour blank area underneath, and right there in the big black lettering very plainly it does say Berlin, Deutschland Hall, Sunday, March 19th, 1972 at 8 p.m. And as you can see, there's a couple of tape tears and stuff left for when they took tape off here, on the poster in a couple of places down in the white area. And speaking of the white area, that is of course the venue box, the tour blank area, if you will, which would switch out from show to show. One thing I don't like about this particular poster's white area, though, is in the upper right, as you can see, that red script is Ari Forster's name, and he's the poster's designer. And I just feel it's a little bit intrusive up there. I think it would have been a lot more, appropriate somewhere in the brown area, because here it is in red, and at the top of the venue area, I don't know, I just think that's a bit too prominent. And I had, interestingly, a beef with the same kind of complaint with that very designer on a Pink Floyd poster from the same hall in 1972 also. So then you've got the concert details printed there in the white venue area above that tape lift there, and there's like sort of 3 sections. And it's interesting because the middle one is the unusual one. It does say tickets for Americans with location and phone number and so forth. The other Berlin posters I have don't have that. Kind of interesting the way, with this jagged, if you will, or slanted whatnot venue white box, how the poster printer decided to get cute and print, strip in the black information for Berlin at an angle to sort of match the top angle where, I sort of wish it had just been straight across the bottom and then let the top angle speak for itself as an artistic development, artistic element, shall we say. But, I don't know if that's nitpicking, but I just think it looks like it's sort of off-printed. It looks like it was out of register or something. But then again, you want to be catchy with these things, and so perhaps that is exactly what it was, is catchy. So, as I mentioned, it does say on there, tickets for Americans. That's probably where my friend got his ticket. And matter of fact, he got 2 tickets and his friend bailed. So my friend went alone, and look what he still has. Yeah, look at this. A completely unused, fully intact ticket for the same show. Now, it's a little bit funny, isn't it, the way it's laid out? As you can see, those 4 prominent words, Your Song, Elton, John. It almost, especially with Elton being such a new act, and the concert actually having sort of a title, Your Song, which is unusual, but still it almost reeks of the promoter, or at the very least the typesetter, not really knowing the nature of the act. Now, given both the words on this ticket and what I've seen of other Deutschland Hall in Berlin concert tickets, thanks to my friend who went to the shows, this is a first row balcony ticket for the Elton John concert. So this was still the winter, technically, of 1972, but boy, were things about to heat up for Elton and the spring and summer of this year. My goodness, his next 5 albums would be incredible smashes and all go to #1 in America. I mean, I'm sure they were in Britain and other countries too, but I go by the American Billboard charts. And we're talking about starting with Honky Chateau later on this year, coming out in just a few months after this. And then, of course, followed by Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Caribou, and Greatest Hits. And were those #1 for 5 weeks in Billboard because there's 5 albums? How about 29 weeks #1 on Billboard's album chart with just those 5 albums. So boy, I'll tell you, the pop world would never be the same again. And here was Elton on the launching pad in 1972 in Berlin. Thanks a lot for dropping by. Hope you got a kick out of it. I sure did. And I love the poster. And we'll see you around soon again. Take care. Bye-bye.